as my guest and looking forward to this conversation since we thought of no, doing this podcast. So, welcome.
Ranjini, Ranjini, I'm pronouncing your name right. Okay.
Yes.
First of all, a big, big thank you and a namaste, all from my heart. And even I was very excited, going through your profile, going through all the work you do. मैंने कहा यार इसमें मजा आएगा. Let's go there. So even I'm very excited.
Yes, yes. I think something कोई तो तार जुड़ गई है जो like we have a similar fire and इसको और बढ़ाते हैं आज.
Sure.
Okay. So let me tell the audience like how like who I am first of all. So I'm Ranjini Sanjay and I'm a business coach and I'm doing this podcast series almost 5 years now. And I met Sandeep in a regular LinkedIn connection, and we got over a call. And what stood out in that conversation was the year.
You have frozen, Ranjini. Ranjini, there seems to be some network issue. You're frozen. I can't hear you at all.
I think we lost each other.
Yes, we lost each other. It happens, technology.
And I think fire कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो गया. So we lost each
जब
other.
तक शॉर्ट सर्किटिंग
Anyway,
नहीं होता तब तक एवरीथिंग इज फाइन. Yep.
I don't know how much this is going to go in the recording, but I was giving people the experience of me speaking to you for the first time, and since then we have been in touch, and we'll come to know the body of work that you have done. I'm so impressed and inspired to just be your connection. And for my audience, Sandeep, please introduce yourself. Tell us where are you joining from, and what do you do, and the topic that you we have chosen. No, and how did you arrive at this topic to be discussed today?
Okay, now this is the most difficult part for me, honestly. You see, you can see my white beard, old school. But anyway, guys, I'm a chartered accountant who has been into organization development for the last 45 years. And you'll be surprised that time chartered accountancy was a premium qualification. And I always regretted being one. I used to question myself, why did I become one? So I got into organization development. Life has been very, very good to me, you see. And today, what I'm doing is I'm focusing on human excellence, leadership, presence, profitability, and working on bringing spirituality and money, that's the economics part, together through my S.H.E frame. Now, this is not S.H.E, this is S full stop, H full stop, E full stop. S standing for spiritual dynamics, H for human potential, and E for economic strategies. I'm also on the board of Professional Speakers Association of India. I've spoken in multiple countries. Oxford was one thing which I keep remembering. And the other thing was speaking at the Conference of Consciousness, one of the world's oldest and the largest, conference on consciousness. And I firmly believe that spirituality needs to be demystified, meditation needs to be demystified, because they are tools to make our lives meaningful. We don't need to choose them. It's not a question of either or, it's a question and. So I'll stop over here. And why don't you ask me so I could be very pinpointed, focused in answering you?
Yes, and it sounds like she is your baby because no, definitely when I work with when I am developing my own no, frameworks and programs and what I teach my clients, no, I tell them to treat this as an idea or a concept or a philosophy of life which is close to you, as close as your baby, and it's like you have conceived it and you are now sharing it with the world. So the she framework, like, is there a personal story attached to the framework that you have designed?
Okay. Now, this is an interesting question. I like your question, personal story. Honestly, there are two parts to it. What inspired me to do it? And the second part is my life journey.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, there was no aha moment that I got to do it. There was no moment where, oh, I got my calling, ab ye karne ka hai. And there was no awakening sort of a thing. Everything has been very organic, very gradual, and you know, it's been a very slow climb over the last 45, 50 years. And my training, now when I talk of my life, my training to do what I'm doing today probably started 65 years back. I was 6 or 7 when my father fell sick, and
Hmm.
his illness continued for a good 20, 24 years. So that was the time. Mummy obviously had to focus on my younger brother, who was just 6 months old. So
Okay.
obviously, growing up alone, missing parents, growing up with grandparents, auntie, uncle, seeing life from close quarters, and I was a good student. Kept on topping, kept on moving forward despite everything, but there was a lot of anger inside me.
Hmm.
Joined college, became a chartered accountant, got married. Initial years, that is the early 80s, I was super successful. Believe me, I was super successful. But by the time 90s came in, mid 90s, I was the opposite of super success. I was a failure as deep as specific. And then around 2000, I was so fed up for that trauma, that pain of 10, 11 years of constant failure, constant disappointment, dismay, etc., etc. I went to my guru and said, Sir, I can't take it anymore. I want to commit suicide. He looked at me,
Hmm.
smiled. I said, Your wish.
Okay.
He said, Your wish. If you ask me, I'll say it's a very foolish thought. मगर तुमको ये बता दूं इंसानी चोला आसानी से नहीं मिलता है. Now that was a big slap on my face because probably I'd gone to him, for seeking compassion, sympathy, empathy, whatever word you want to use. Or he's saying, no, 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 you should not do it. He said, do it and do it. मरना है मर जाओ. That was a big slap on my face. That really shook me up. And then I started, since the spirituality, philosophy, all these things came to me reflexively. Then I really started looking deeply into life, what life is all about. Where was I committing the mistake? And three principles came up, which I would like to share with the audience. Number one,
Definitely.
align your purpose, thoughts, and actions. Purpose is your soul, thoughts are your mind, actions are your body. Align your purpose, thoughts, and actions, and this is the place majority of us fail. We want to go to America.
Hmm.
While searching about the ticket prices for US or New York, we land up spending time looking for England,
Mm.
land up buying tickets via Mexico or some other place, everything is messed up. So this was number one. Number two, life is not linear.
Mm.
Initial success had made me think life is linear.
Mm.
Life is not linear. At every step, you have an opportunity to say yes or no. Ranjani, before going live, you had the opportunity to say, sorry, Sandeep, we are not doing it. Even at this point of time, you have the opportunity to say, do we continue or do we stop? So at every point of time, you have an opportunity to say yes or no. So life
Yes.
is not linear. It all depends what decision you take. So look at the larger picture, join the dots, and join the dots in such a way that you move towards your goal. And the third one, which I call the mother of all, operate with love, operate with humility, operate with compassion. You can't succeed, you can't live, you can't achieve as an island. You need people to be there.
Mm.
What had happened? What was I doing? I was. I had become arrogant. I was taking things for granted. So, uh, for the 10, 12 years, 15 years, I did not develop relationships. I developed
Mm.
transactions. And transaction, though, it happens, that's the end of it. It's a one time thing. Relationships take you forward. So, all these things put together, I felt that I should document them, and that is getting converted into a book, which should be out shortly.
Yes.
The SHE framework captures my life learnings without
Mm.
any filters, and I have been the most atrocious person. I have been the sweetest person. So I'll bring both sides, a total 180 degrees in the book, and I bring that in my training also. So that is the answer to your question. Though it was slightly long.
That's fine, but that was really beautiful and really, people who are listening to this live or on a replay would be really, reflecting on what you said. And pretty much, I think somewhere the reason why we met, I remember you told me, there is a reason why we met. And no, I
Hmm.
can clearly see because I am also maybe somewhere in your journey where I'm really seeking how spirituality can be is something I should be looking at this year and going forward to really uh, bring profitability and growth in my business. So the chapter that I am studying from very I would say consciously choosing and working on it is spirituality. So I want to learn from you as you integrate this. How does for a business when it comes to we talk about strategies, so let me tell you, when it comes to growth we all look at what's the new strategy, what's going to work for business. How do you bring what is your perspective of bringing spirituality here?
Okay, my perspective is very simple. All of us have got two hands, right hand and the left hand. Until the time we use both the hands, we are effective and efficient.
Mhm.
If I tie one hand of yours and say you will not use it, what will happen to your efficiency and effectiveness? It will come down
Yes. Yes.
because there are certain things you do with the right hand, there are certain things you do with the left. And if you have only one hand, your efficiency, effectiveness would come down. We human beings exist at three levels: the soul level, the mind level, and the body level. We got to appreciate if I remove the soul from this equation, what happens? We die. Let's bring the
Mm.
soul back. We are alive again. Let's remove the mind. What happens? We are alive, breathing, but incapable of thinking and directing the body to
mm,
act. Let's bring the mind back. We remove the body, what happens? You don't exist. Now, this is a very, very important equation which people ignore. So, when are you really effective? When are you really efficient? When do you really achieve what you want to achieve? Is when these three forces they are aligned. Okay.
mm.
Now, the
Yes.
attributes of the soul, what are they? Love, mutuality, larger good,
Mm,
ethics, values, right? Refulgence,
yes.
intelligence, wisdom. These are attributes of the soul. And what is the attribute of the body? I, me, my. The body knows only three things:
Mm,
organic satisfaction, organic multiplication, and organic survival. It doesn't know the fourth thing. Now, between these two attributes, right, the soul and the body is the mind. Now, the mind does not have a mind of its own, but it has got certain powers.
yeah.
And what it does is it keeps on oscillating between the soul and the body. That is through the awareness, consciousness, attention.
Yes.
Now, whenever there's a stimulus or a stimuli, which pushes you to act, if your awareness is towards the body, your reaction is selfless. There are different degrees towards selflessness. And if at that point or time your consciousness or awareness or attention is towards the body, it is selfishness, or towards selfishness. Now, selfishness in the material world is a destructive force. Selflessness is a constructive force.
Yes.
Selfishness promotes isolation, exclusivity. Selflessness promotes integration, inclusiveness. So when we talk of business, unless you are inclusive, how can you grow? Because business is a relationship between three sets of people: the owners, employees, and the
Yeah.
customers. So whatever applies to human beings equally applies to business. So
Yes.
therefore, both of them do exist. It's a
Wonderful.
myth, they don't exist. They have to exist. In fact, spirituality is a brilliant tool given by nature to us to help us achieve and design a future, a profitable future. Spirituality does not demand any sacrifice, nor does it demand any isolation. It says, accept me, I'll help you to expand. So
Wow.
therefore,
Wonderful.
I believe both need to work together. They're designed to work together. And let me give you one thing more, right? In an ancient text, there's a concept of pravidya
Hmm.
and paravidya. Okay, paravidya of the
Hmm.
material world, physics, chemistry, etc., philosophy. Okay. Sorry, aparavidya is of a material world, and paravidya is of the other world. And they say unless both come together, you cannot really excel and thrive. So paravidya is all about the science of the soul. Aparavidya is all about the science of the body and the physical world in which we live.
Yes. Wonderful. So this is I would say mind blowing to really learn from the way that you explained. You're a seasoned speaker, so you're completely engrossed as you were speaking. So as you said, to get really aware, the awareness tools or the practices that you would suggest for an entrepreneur or a founder who is like really thinking how do I bring spirituality in a way that it helps me align with what I'm doing and my soul's
Okay.
purpose here.
Look, number one, we have been trained to focus only on the top line and the bottom line. People forget that the top line and the bottom line are only resultants. What is the process? Focus on the process. What is the process of doing business? When it comes to services and products, you got to add value to society. You got to train your mind to move from selfishness, isolation to integration. You need to work on your mind, your attention. I'll give you some facts and figures also, so that it comes to rest. And when it comes to rest, like Steve Jobs says, mind is highly restless, inherently restless. And the more you try to put it at ease, the more restless it becomes. But eventually, when it rests, it does come to rest. And when it rests, new expanses, opportunities, skills, everything opens up. So, number one, focus on the process. Now, number two, dive deep into yourself and analyze, why do you think and behave the way you do? And when you analyze this way, you'll find what you were considering the cause was also a reaction. The cause is somewhere much, much, much deeper. For example, let us say I get angry at some person. Okay. Now I'll say, yes, I'm sorry I was angry, but Radhika said this thing, therefore I became angry. So what am I doing? I am shifting the focus that I was angry from my behavior to Radhika doing something. Now, what I say, ask yourself, was Radhika the real reason? If you really go deeper, you'll say, okay, Radhika was not the reason. It was that the report which Radhika had to give me, I had to submit it to my client. The client would be angry. Okay? Is the client anger or being angry, is it the real reason? Go deeper, you'll find no. It is my fear of losing the client which made me react that way. Now, the moment you have hit the cause, you have accepted everything the way it is, your mind automatically starts thinking, okay, in this situation, what should I do? What is my B plan, C plan?
Yes.
Okay, so this was the first thing. Number two, let me give a very simple formula. AOPA. Attention management, observation, pause, and acceptance. 47.9% times our attention is not inside our body. This is a Harvard research says so. Let's assume our average lifespan of 75 years. 24 घंटे में 8 घंटे सोते हैं. One third time we are sleeping. Out of 75 years, 25 years we are sleeping. Working time with us was only 50 years. And out of those 50 years, if our attention is not in our body for 50% time, then what are we doing? We are productive only 25 years. 25 years we've been acting
Yes.
or assuming or fooling ourselves of being productive without being productive. Now, attention is one skill which you can build very easily. There's a lot of neuroscience behind it, there's a lot of scientific research behind it. And in 3, 4 days' time, if you practice it, but there are exercises for it, new neural pathways start
Hmm.
being constructed, they start emerging, and this is the way you change your habits also. So the first thing is manage your attention. And now we usually say, time nahi hai. I wish I had more time. Come on, man, increase your attention, the power to hold your attention. Even by 10%, you get 2.5 years extra in your life. 20%, you get 5 years extra in your life.
Yes.
Okay, first is attention. Now, what will it do? It will help you to be in the moment, in the present. When you are in the present, it will help you to develop your focus. When you develop your focus, it will help you to develop your concentration. And when you develop your concentration, it will help you to absorb yourself in whatever you are doing and give your best to it. I usually ask, why do, how come dancers dance for 3 hours non-stop on stage? They get so absorbed in the dance, nothing else matters to them. A cricket ball coming at a speed of 140 kilometers from a 22 yards. Still, I'm seeing it as a football and hitting it for a six. Why? I'm absorbed in it. Okay. So this is what attention training will help you. Number two, observation. I'll be brief.
Hmm.
Observation. When you say what do you observe, we talk of the outside world. We don't talk of the inside world. Every reaction happens first
Yeah.
inside and then. So focus
Comes
on
outside. Yeah.
observing what's happening inside you. Learn and correlate. So you'll get to know churning in my stomach means I'm going to feel scared. Okay. Come to
Yeah.
pause. There is a small gap between internal reaction and the external manifestation. Once you have observed churning in the stomach, I'm going to get scared. And if you put your finger on the small pause, you will not be afraid because by that time, your prefrontal cortex will take over and you'll say, okay, what's there to be scared? And you'll be confident. Pause gives meaning to the meaningless. If there's a page in your book, I remove all the spaces, all the words stick to each other. Can you read it? No, it's very difficult. Pause is that. And lastly, acceptance. How do we accept? Like the case I give, I'm angry, but Radhika did this. So the cause of anger will never appear to me. Accept reality as it is, without riders, without explanations, without justifications. So this is the path you do, and do it every day intentionally, and you'll start seeing a change in your attitude, in your perception, in your thinking. Plus, remember the word faces. FACES. F standing for flexibility, A standing for adaptability, C standing for coherence, E standing for energy, and S standing for stability. So bring these five factors in your purpose, in your thoughts and actions. Just do so much, and you'll find a new world opens up.
Wonderful, wonderful. These practices, no, the advices that you have given looks very simple, but when it comes to doing, if you have a struggle, then people can connect with
Of
Sandeep
course,
and
they
learn
can
how
connect them.
help no in really applying this in a way that it really shows the results in their life and in business. So, Sandeep, quickly before I get into another question, I want to know, where we can find you. Where are you the most active? If somebody wants to connect with you on social media, or uh, you know, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I am most active on LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, you will not find Sandeep Gupta, you will find Sandeep Amar Gupta. Okay? Because on my documents, it's Sandeep Gupta. I added Amar later on. Amar is my father's name. Okay? You'll find Amar Sandeep Gupta on LinkedIn. Please get in touch with me. You can also visit my website, Sandeep Amar Gupta, Gupta spelled with a double P, .com. And
Okay.
I'm sure if you get in touch with Ranjani, she'll share my mobile number and email ID with you, and you'll get my email ID at both these places. And yes, this, and I think I've shared my mobile number also at these places.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
As though many, there are some people watching still with us in this conversation. So, if you want to know, learn more from, or learn more about what Sandeep has been talking about, and different ideas and philosophies, plus the framework with the practices, you can connect. And Sandeep, moving on, I want to know, like, what is the legacy that you're creating with Tree framework and
Legacy I'm
uh,
creating. I am not creating any legacy for myself. I'm trying to help people to create legacy.
wonderful, wonderful, great.
You see, Uh, because, like I was talking in the morning, I said it was a C Institute talk. I said, look, I've not come here to give back to the institute. No, I can't give back to the institute. I'm here to share my knowledge, to share my experience, to share my life with you. Similarly, with your audience through this podcast, I'm sharing my knowledge, my expertise. What I strongly believe in, that the future rests
Yeah.
in bringing purpose and strategy together. Okay, therefore, I'm helping people develop a legacy and leave it behind. And I would like to say one thing. People should remember one thing. The future of business is humans.
Wonderful.
The future of business is humans. And the future of business is collaboration. And to collaborate, you need to look beyond yourself. Because collaboration comes from the space of we. What will we get? You need to be flexible, adaptable, energized, tolerant, prepared to share, and believe me, it works. Can I share one real life example with your audience if you have time?
Definitely, definitely. You can.
Okay. Guys, what is the currency of spirituality? The currency of spirituality is love. Okay. Now, a professor by the name of Raj Sisodia, he was with the Wharton University, did a research where he researched companies who had incorporated love into their business strategy. A very strict benchmarking, tabulation. He went around the world, finally selected 60 organizations. From India, there are two, Tatas and Mahindras. And when he did the financial analysis of these companies, which worked on the principle of endearment, which worked on the principle of love, supporting each other, standing by each other, and helping each other grow, you'll be surprised. These 60 companies surpassed the S&P 500 average by 10x to 15x over a period of 10 years. The S&P 500 average is supposed to be up there in the world. Oh, if you have achieved it, it's brilliant. But these companies which practiced love in their strategy grew 15x in the same period of time. Is this not fascinating?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much for sharing this because you backed the knowledge with example, and it's not just a philosophy that we are sharing here. It is reality that exists and will continue to exist. And this is the invitation to all the people who are listening. Like, as you said, the future is humans, future is connection, and the the existence of all of us depends on how much we can love, right?
Yeah, and
So,
one thing more.
Sandeep, yeah,
Sorry, my
go
mistake.
ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem, no problem.
I was saying one thing more for your audience, especially the entrepreneurs, right?
Yes,
Folks, business is not only solving problems. Business is all about creating something meaningful, which adds value to life, which helps people to grow.
yeah,
And this thing happens when you integrate spirituality, the spiritual dynamics, I won't say spirituality, spiritual dynamics, economic strategies, and develop the potential to integrate them and take it to your business strategy. And what happens after that? You become more inclusive. The higher is the inclusivity, higher is your credibility. Higher is your credibility. Higher is the probability of people standing by you when you are down.
yes,
And if people stand by you when you are down, I think nothing can be greater than that because whatever goes down has to go up. And everything which goes up has to come down. So, what do you do in the bargain? You create profitable, purposeful futures, not only for yourself, but for your team members and for people outside.
beautiful. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for being here and sharing all that gold that you got with us. And I think this was a very reflective conversation for me also. As you were speaking, I was really looking into how I am, you know, what I'm doing with my life and my business. So um no, it was great to learn all of this from you, and I I would be sharing with this video with on the other platforms as well, and I invite all the listeners, viewers who are watching either on YouTube or on Spotify to connect with Sandeep and learn more, and how you can have this framework, these concepts being applied, executed, and get results in your life and business. So, thank you, Sandeep. And before we close, I want you to share your closing message,
Okay.
and
B-
we can say,
Before that, Mr. Ram Prasad Lal, I know him very well. He's a friend of mine. He says maybe internal problems. So I'll only say, Ram Prasad ji, spirituality addresses your internal problems, economics addresses your external problems. Till the time the internal and external do not align, nothing happens. Further, if the external world develops without the growth of the internal world, what do? You create man eaters on the prowl. A society without culture, without ethics, without values. And if the inner world grows without external growth, you create lame ducks. Anyone can come and steamroll them. Even that's not good. So either of them is good. So you need to strike a balance between spirituality and economics So, probably my answer to Ramlal can be taken as my closing message. You need to strike a balance. Don't shy away, break away from the myth. And what is spirituality? Spirituality is nothing else but it is training your mind to align with your soul rather than your body. Spirituality is a journey from behaving selfishly to consistently behaving selflessly. I'm using the word consistently. And remember, spirituality does not demand any sacrifice. On the contrary, it is ready to help you work and achieve effectively, efficiently, even if it is to earn money. Spirituality and money
Yeah.
do not cannot exist together, do not exist together. That's a myth. And I have proven and established that both can exist together. Thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. They coexist and they are meant to exist together. So if you're missing anything, it's as Sandeep says, you have to bring the balance, the alignment between the both. So thank you for creating this lovely conversation and adding value to my audience. And I'm really grateful. Thank you, Sandeep. I'll see you soon. Take care and good
Bye
night
bye.
for today.